In my 26 years of life, I've never been popular with the ladies. Maybe it's because I'm an only child, but I've been a shy, indecisive person who can't express my thoughts clearly since I was a kid. In my school days, I was a loner and was ruthlessly bullied. I've never had a real friend. A girlfriend, of course, is nothing more than a distant dream. Girls usually find me creepy and avoid me, so there's no chance for me to experience romance. However, I am a healthy young man, and it would be a lie to say that I haven't had a crush on a girl or two. I, of course, don't have the courage to ask someone out, and I'm satisfied just watching them from a distance. That summer, when I was in the 11th grade, a girl from my class invited me out. The night before, I was too excited to sleep, and on the day, I carefully checked my hair and outfit. We were supposed to meet in front of the train station. Despite it being an extremely hot day at the peak of summer, I arrived about 30 minutes early. I couldn't help but laugh at my own eagerness. What will we talk about when she arrives? Where should we go? I went over the day's plan in my head. Despite standing in the scorching heat and breaking out in a sweat, my heart was leaping at the beginning of what felt like my first real taste of youth. But she didn't show up. 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. I texted her but got no response. I was terribly worried that something might have happened to her, but I lost my nerve to go to her house and announced. I felt like I was going to faint from heat stroke and took refuge in the train station. Then, a group of high school boys and girls came out from the ticket gates. Among them, I was shocked to see her, chatting with her friends and arm in arm with the star of the soccer team. "Hey Sarah, what's up? Did you forget we were supposed to meet?" I asked in confusion, to which she looked surprised for a moment before bursting into laughter.
You didn't seriously think I meant it, did you? It was just a joke, dummy.
With a cruel smirk, she was drawn into a hug by that handsome, sunburned star of the soccer club.
No one's gonna give the time of day to a loser like you.
Everyone burst into laughter. In response to my stunned silence, Sarah said, "I only invited you as a penalty game. Don't get the wrong idea." I don't remember much after that. I staggered home and collapsed on my bed, eventually had a fever, even though I loved her so much. Sarah had only asked me out as part of a penalty game, and within that day, she had completely forgotten about her promise to me. Heartbroken by the harsh betrayal of the girl I liked, I shed tears of frustration. A traumatic experience during my high school days had made me incredibly shy and fearful when it came to romance. During my college days, I spent most of my time not interacting with others, and at the company I had barely managed to join, I continued to avoid contact with women as much as possible. I really wanted to fall in love, to spend joyful moments with a girl, to form a loving relationship and build a happy family. But as my fantasies grew, so did my frustration at my hesitation to act and my inferiority complex. On my way to and from work, I would see couples and feel a pang of envy and jealousy. Upon returning to my apartment, I would go straight to bed in a huff. I figured there was no one out there who would ever fall for someone like me. I was content to remain single for the rest of my life. However, fate works in mysterious ways, and finally, luck found its way to me. One day, I found a wallet on the subway during my commute. It was a lady's wallet. I turned it in to the station attendant, and a few days later, I received a call from the owner of that wallet. Her name was Lisa, and she apparently worked as an office worker in a company in downtown New York. She asked me to meet her at a cafe so she could thank me in person, and when I arrived, a beautiful woman with medium-length hair was waiting for me at a table. It's embarrassing, but it was love at first sight. Lisa got up to thank me and then we moved on to small talk. I was extremely nervous, but Lisa was a good talker and time flew by. I was too flustered to remember most of our conversation, but her bright smile, which blew away my shyness, is something I will never forget. We exchanged phone numbers at the end of the day, and this led to us meeting once a week at the cafe. Our workplaces were not far apart, and the cafe was conveniently located halfway, making it easy to meet in our spare time. I was aware that I was becoming attracted to her every time we met, but I couldn't take that final step. The bitter experience from my high school days made me think that it would be the same result, futile to have any expectations. I thought to myself, isn't it enough to just be friends? What are you unsatisfied with? Do you want to ruin the current relationship? One day, as I was struggling with my indecisiveness, she muttered something while looking at her phone at the cafe.
I've been interested in this movie.
She was looking at a new Hollywood romantic comedy, and it starred one of my favorite actors. The premiere is next week, and I felt destiny. If I didn't act now, I would regret it forever. As soon as I got home, I reserved a pair of tickets on my computer. When I invited her to the movie, my friend gave me tickets to that movie you mentioned. Would you like to go with me? She enthusiastically agreed.
I'm really looking forward to it. It's our first date.
Huppo, yay, I guess it is.
Just don't be late. I hate being kept waiting. I've always been impatient.
No worries, I'll be there early. Because Lisa, self-proclaimed as clumsy and prone to losing things, I decided to keep the tickets until the day of the movie. We are planning to meet up in front of the movie theater, where I'll hand over the tickets. Well, she does have a history of accidentally dropping her wallet on the train, so there's no room for objections. Funny enough, that incident was the one that brought us together, so I will be punished if I do not appreciate it. On the day of our first date, I'm all geared up and ready to go. High school memories, unpleasant as they may be, resurface, but I didn't let that stop me. I kept moving forward, only looking ahead. I didn't forget the tickets, did I? I checked my pockets several times and couldn't help but smile as I imagined the good times we'll have at the movies. This could be my first real date in 26 years of life. I've decided to share my feelings once we got out of the movie theater. The sequence might be a bit reversed, but who cares? I've already picked out the perfect restaurant to express my feelings towards her. According to the reviews, the night view from the windows is stunning. I couldn't wait to show her.
Oof.
When I turned towards the groaning sound behind me, I found an old lady with white hair collapsed on the ground. Are you okay?
I don't know. I just suddenly felt a pain in my chest.
The old lady who fell on the sidewalk seems quite old. I looked around in confusion, but the passers-by just avoided getting involved and continued on their way. The location was a bustling downtown on the weekend, where everyone seemed to have plans, from dates to family outings.
Please, don't worry about me. You must be in a hurry. My son will come pick me up, so don't worry.
I can't just leave you who's looking so pale. I helped the old lady up and took her somewhere she could sit, then called an ambulance on my phone. I decided to stay with her, comforting her, stroking her back until the ambulance arrives.
Thank you.
Don't force yourself to talk. I felt frustrated that there's so little I can do. As Lisa's waiting face crossed my mind, I started to compose an apology and explanation for being late when the old lady gasped and clutched her chest. Well, I dropped my phone. The screen cracks when it hits the ground, making it unable to send the message. I'm relieved that I called the ambulance before this happened, but the next moment I broke out in a cold sweat at the realization that I could contact Lisa.
Oh dear, I'm so sorry. How can I possibly apologize for this?
Don't worry about it, it'll be fixed soon.
Won't you be inconvenienced without it? Don't you have someone to contact?
Actually, I have a date today. It's our first date and we have plans to see a movie together. When I mentioned the movie title, her face lighted up.
Oh, congratulations. In that case, I really shouldn't keep you. Please, go on without me.
Despite her urging, she looked pale and her breathing was labored. If I were to leave her, I fear she might collapse immediately. Right now, you need to focus on yourself. As I continued comforting her, who kept apologizing, with a firm smile, the ambulance finally arrived. Just as the paramedics arrived and she was being loaded onto the stretcher, the paramedics said, "It's okay now." I was honestly relieved. I had lifted my head, thinking if I ran at full speed I could make it, and when I was about to walk away from the ambulance,
Tom.
the old lady suddenly had a fit and began clawing at her chest. She was panting heavily, her face as pale as a ghost, and irregular convulsions had started. Seeing her continuously calling out Tom, Tom, probably her son's name, I got into the ambulance.
I can't breathe. I'm scared, Tom. What's going to happen to me?
It's okay, Mom, I'm right here. I quickly held the hand of the old lady who was on the verge of losing consciousness and played the role of her son on the spur of the moment. I kept talking to her until the ambulance arrived at the hospital and she was taken to the intensive care unit on a stretcher. After she disappeared into the ICU, I turned on my heels once her condition stabilized. Finally, I was able to leave her to the doctors, and I wanted to meet Lisa quickly. She might have gone home angry, but I couldn't rest until I had gone to her. I ran like a madman, and when I finally arrived at the movie theater, Lisa was standing there with an expressionless face. 3 hours had passed since the appointed time.
As I told you, I hate being kept waiting.
I desperately explained the situation, but Lisa kept a stern face and seemed to turn a deaf ear to my words.
Even if you really were helping someone, you could have sent a single message, right? I couldn't go in first because you had the tickets.
My phone was broken, please believe me. I was thinking about you the whole time I came here. Desperate to make her understand, I showed her my cracked phone, but she dismissed it with a shake of her hand.
You could have used a payphone, right? How stupid.
It was just a joke, dummy. Sarah's mocking laughter mixed with Lisa's words, and I felt my energy to defend myself drain away. Indeed, it was my fault that I didn't use a payphone. The spread of smartphones and the reduced number of payphones isn't an excuse. There was a phone at the hospital, but I overlooked it because I was obsessed with her. I was so eager to see her, to apologize to her, I didn't notice anything else.
You said you'd be the first one there.
Her face twisted in sorrow.
I can't be with someone who can't even keep a promise on a first date and messes up big time.
She left without looking back. I was dumped before I could express my feelings. What a disaster. From that day, my pleasure in my free time vanished. Even after several attempts to message her with my repaired phone, I was ignored and my mood sank to rock bottom. I shouldn't have overdone it. Maybe if I had left that old lady to someone else, Lisa wouldn't have gotten fed up with me. Even after several months from the heartbreak, I was still sulking and couldn't forget about Lisa. As I returned from work and was absently watching TV, an unexpected thing happened. It was a program in search of people, hosted by a popular comedian.
Now, let's introduce this person next.
Prompted by the host, a middle-aged man dressed in a fine suit entered. He was holding a sketchbook in his hand. The host introduced him as the president of a large corporation in the city, New York. I even know that company.
Who are you looking for today?
It's the kind person who helped my mother when she collapsed in town. I don't know his name or profession, but I clearly remember his face. My mother drew it.
Your mother is good at drawing, isn't she?
She studied it in the past, and she bragged from her bed, saying my portrait drawing skill is as good as a professional's.
He opened the sketchbook, and my face was drawn on it.
He's a very fine young man. While everyone around pretended not to see, only he stopped and offered a hand to my mother, despite the fact that he had made a promise to see a movie on his first date with a woman who could be his girlfriend.
He even mentioned the title of the movie and kept expressing his gratitude to me. Things I've done to her, like I accompanied her to the hospital pretending to be her son, kept encouraging her until she was taken to the intensive care unit. That's how she barely managed to hold on.
If anyone knows him, please contact us. There is a reward. We are also waiting for direct contact from him. My mother and I would like to meet him directly and say thank you.
I didn't give my name or contact information to the hospital. After all, I was just a passerby. If the old lady could just be saved, I didn't expect any more reward. That's what I thought. Tom, you're a good son. The moment I turned off the TV out of embarrassment, the phone I had thrown on the coffee table rang. The familiar name Lisa was displayed. Could it be? When I nervously swiped it, I heard her gentle voice for the first time in several months.
It's been a while. How have you been?
I've been good. I'm glad you seem to be doing well, too. After about 5 minutes of awkward conversation, suddenly her voice trembled and choked.
I saw the TV show. I'm sorry I didn't believe you.
She sobbed over the phone and then dropped a bomb. The man who appeared in the show earlier was the president of her company. She knew the president was looking for the lifesaver of his mother and was soliciting information on a national TV show, but she didn't think to connect that with me until this very moment.
I was just frustrated for 3 hours. But you spent 3 hours saving that old lady, didn't you?
I was forgiven by her, my eyes welled up, and I cried out loud. After that, I was introduced to the two of them through Lisa, and was embarrassed by their exaggerated words of gratitude.
Thank you very much for accompanying my mother on my behalf.
In the envelope they handed to me, there were a pair of tickets.
I was able to get good seats.
I would like to hear your impressions later.
After being told by the old lady and the president, my first date with Lisa was happily reset.